only in your mind, sweetheart. That is one of the things that I learned this year.
So I want to talk a little bit about our Mayan experience that we recently went on. If you watched my video, which was called like the 5 YouTubers for Merida, Mexico that you need to be following, one of them was Asia Arrow, and she actually went with Cassie and Nate with Native Nomads. But anyway, she had a video where she went on this Mayan experience trip to a cenote in a Mayan village, and they cooked her some lunch and all that jazz, and it really intrigued me. And so I called Lucia and said, I want the same thing. Like, can you do this? Please let me do this. So Alex and I went with another friend, and Lucia picked us up, and she drove us, I think it was almost 2 hours away, to this village. And the first thing we did was we visited this family who was going to be making our lunch for us, and it was really special. I got to see a side of Lucia that I didn't fully understand, but we got there and she had all these gifts that she gave to not only the family that was cooking for us, but also like some neighboring kids that just naturally wandered towards it. Like, you can see that Lucia has a real relationship with the people from this village. And I'll note that Lucia is herself of Mayan descent. Okay, so that's part of, I think, where that rapport comes from. But either way, we got there, she gave the gifts to the family, and then we went on a little house tour through their home. I definitely got permission to record, they were okay with it. And so we got a glimpse into their home, into how they cook, into their yard, which was really, to me, the most fascinating, because they have chickens, they have cows, turkeys, ducks. I feel like something else that I'm missing, and they had all this green, right? These plants, all of which is used, right? All of which was used to, like, this off-grid living, right? This sustainable lifestyle that they live. And so I loved seeing not only their home and not only meeting the people, which, by the way, generations lived here. Like the grandparents and the parents and the children, the little children, all live together. And you can just see the love they have for each other, the respect they have for each other, and the love they have for their land, for their property, for what it provides for them. And I'll just note, I was really, really concerned. I was really concerned and nervous about, I think, going through somebody else's home and feeling like I was staring, right? I didn't want them to get the impression that I was like noticing every crevice, noticing every detail, because that's really not what it was about. It was really about a family that welcomed us into their home for the afternoon. They let us kind of get a glimpse into their life, into their lifestyle, to help us appreciate. Because let's backtrack a little bit. Before moving to Merida a year ago, I had no idea that Mayans existed. Like, I feel like a complete moron for saying that out loud. But nevertheless, I legitimately thought that the Mayans, that they didn't exist anymore, right? That they went away at the same time that all of their buildings and the architecture and the history became ruins. Like, it never occurred to me. It just never occurred to me. And so I really loved getting to meet this Mayan family, and Lucia, so she just knows so much history and so many stories and backgrounds about just a lot of things when it comes to the Mayan culture. But we were just warmly invited into this family's home, and we got to see the process of how they cook our meals, all organic, all beautiful, like, just, I loved it. I love the sustainability, and I love the appreciation of the land and of what they have. And then, of course, we went to the cenote, which was beautiful, and we were the only ones there, like the only ones there. It had rained earlier that day, right? While we were driving up there, it was actually raining, and I was at first concerned because, I don't know, water, rain, for some reason, you just have to ask. And Lucy was so kind to say, oh no, oh, it's going to actually improve the experience. It may not improve the pictures I got to take. It improved the experience, and I'm gonna just say that I loved it. This is our third cenote we've gone to, and all I can say about cenotes are not only have they all been beautiful, but they've all brought with it a slightly different magic, a slightly different feel. If you come to Merida, Mexico, you absolutely have to go to any one of the 500 plus cenotes we have in this area. Like, it's mandatory. It's mandatory. Essentially, a cenote is a swimming hole that's inside of a cave. Now, some of them, the cave has collapsed or has partially collapsed, so it may be fully enclosed or it may not be. But either way, we're talking about a natural pool. So, what do you need? It's really important just to preserve the quality of that water, to not wear sunscreen or other oils or mosquito repellent, like all those things that you kind of want to wear, you want to avoid, really to include makeup of any kind. I would recommend what I call river shoes, but something that you can wear both in and outside of the pool. That way you're not worrying about your shoes falling off while you're swimming. A lot of these cenotes, not all of them, but a lot of them are super, super deep. So if you lose something, you've lost it forever. On a related note, you're probably going to want to make sure that there are life vests available. It is, again, a swimming hole, so better safe than sorry. Have a life vest. And I strongly recommend you get a camera that is either waterproof, or get one of those cute little waterproof bags to put your camera into. Don't be like me and try to use a Ziploc bag, because quite frankly, it's not going to work very well. And if you're not a big fish person, just know most cenotes will at least have those tiny little fish that will nibble at you if you stay still long enough. And then of course, after all of that, we are starving and we get to go back to that home and we get to eat the most delicious, the absolutely most delicious food I have had this entire year. I really wish that their home was not so far away. Like, they need to move a little closer to Merida so that I can eat their food much more frequently.
This is something special, one of my favorite ones. This is called jicara. Okay, jicara comes from a tree. Okay, and then you peel it, and it's the way that they put tortilla in order to keep them warm.
Gracias.
No. Never mind. Dios mío.
Is this mine?
Is that agua fresca? Now, what is all this?
Panucho with egg,
Yeah.
guacamole, chaya, cooked with tomato, and
That-
potato. Yeah, and potato with.
That's little guacamole in the green.
This is for squad. Smile.
This looks so good. It's so pretty. I don't even want to get
I
it.
know.
It's
I was
so
gonna say
pretty.
it's like high-end restaurant kind of the colors and
You see?